This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi.
Against the Flow of Mississippi was written by Anthony Oksenholt and was published by Oksenholt Biloxi Publishing, LLC. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice. Don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence.
They've had their say. Seems like they've had that kind of say around here for too long. I had to stand up for myself alone. I went in there to remind them that somewhere in this world there's still a little law and order left. To let them know in the only kind of terms that their kind understand is that they can't bribe or threaten their way out of what they did. Let them do this to me and get away with it, and you give them the eternal right to do the same damn thing to any one of you.
Access 228, your host, Anthony Oksenholt, where we report the facts and we are not for sale. If you have a news story or something that's on your mind, please feel free to give us a call at 228-337-2099. Be glad to have you on. Thank you for listening, and we do appreciate all that you do to support us and keep free and independent journalism doing what we do best. All right, y'all. Access 228, your host, Anthony Oksenholt. Is it me, or does anybody else think it's a little odd that the Department of Justice, now listen to me, Department of Justice. Y'all remember when we were in school, they told us to put our hand over our heart and pledge allegiance to the flag, and the last few words of it was, with liberty and justice for all. The Department of Justice, which is ran by the Attorney fucking General, the highest law enforcement person in this country. The Attorney General in my opinion is guilty of contempt of Congress. Now I don't know why she hasn't been charged with it. I don't know why our representatives in Congress are having such a hard time holding her accountable. Why is she protecting pedophiles? I mean, I think if you're watching especially this show, we can all agree universally, whether you're Republican or Democrat, independent, libertarian, or a fucking communist. I think we can all agree that with pedophiles, you build the goddamn gallows. You get some nice fucking hemp rope, some really good hefty fucking sandbags. You stand them up on the platform, you throw that noose around the neck, and just like that 6-man hanging and hang 'em high, you drop 'em. I think that, we all need to come together and say, what the fuck? Now, as a former public employee, specifically in law enforcement, as I was, you work for the public. We collectively, all 350 fucking million of us in this country who pay taxes, are your employers. I don't think there's a sane person in this world that thinks that these pedophiles don't at least need a trial. I say they deserve a trial by jury. And I don't think it would be hard to find 12 men and women in any jurisdiction who could serve on a jury to fry their asses. Now, I'm 41 years old. I'm not a lawyer, never claimed to be. Although, as I've said many a times, I could probably pass the bar in the state of Mississippi with no problems. And I stand on that. If the bastards would let me sit for it. But I'm not an attorney. Being that I'm not an attorney, it opens me up to being allowed to look at things not from a lawyer's perspective, but from a perspective from a perception of morality. And my perception is that a person is accused of a crime. They investigate it. They investigate the accusations. They put all the evidence before a grand jury. The grand jury either says, here's a true bill, we choose to indict, or a no bill, we choose not to indict. If the true bill is handed down, then we go ahead and we try the defendants. And if a unanimous jury finds them guilty, you have sentencing. When you have sentencing, of course, you're going to have an appeal. These people have money. They have lawyers. They can tie this shit up for years. But at least something's getting done. At least something is being done to show that nobody is above the law in this country. If just one fucking person, just one, is above the law in this country, we have a problem. I don't give a fuck if it's the fucking big orange dick in the small orange dick in the White House. I don't care if it's JD cocksucking Vance, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, that little fucking bug-eyed crackhead looking motherfucker that runs the FBI. Yeah, I said it. I don't care if it's Bill Gates. I don't care if it's whoever. You commit a crime in this country, you're not above the law. I guarantee you, if I my little blue collar ass went to Epstein Island and they had me in there, I guarantee you my ass would be on fucking trial and criminally charged and probably sitting in prison by now. And the same with you. But me and you, we're not multi-billionaires that can hide behind political clout. If the founding fathers in this country wanted us to be able to hide behind political clout, I don't think they would have wrote the Constitution. We didn't fucking kick the goddamn fucking British ass out of this country to have the same tyranny that we fought back then, 250 years later. As a historian, I say this is despicable. And not only is it despicable, it's unbelievable. I'm a fucking writer and I can't make this shit up. But it's happening live. We're watching the hearings. We're watching, and look, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm damn sure not a fucking Republican. You know, I gotta admit something. I know I'm catching a lot of shit now because, oh, well, you weren't talking about how fucked up Biden was. Biden was fucked up. Biden was a piece of shit. You're not going to get an argument out of me on this. Biden was a fucking piece of shit as a president. He may have been on Epstein Island. I don't know. I mean, hell, he's shit. He was in public office since the fucking 70s. Probably longer than that. He was a dumbass. He was asleep at the wheel. You're not going to get an argument out of me on that. Obama, I didn't particularly care for him when he was in office, but you know what? I don't think he was on Epstein Island. Not that I've seen. But Trump grabbed him by the pussy. You know, when you're a billionaire, you can do whatever you want to. You can grab him by the pussy if you want to. I do believe he said something to that effect. And it was caught on camera. You know, this man here is a sexual degenerate, number one. So I believe he was on Epstein Island. I believe he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. I believe him and Bill Clinton, which I 100% believe was on that island, because Lord knows Slick Willie couldn't keep his dick in his pants. I mean, damn, you getting a blowjob in the Oval Office by some fat chick. I mean, obviously you can't keep your dick in your pants. He's not the first. I mean, shit. Viagra was fucking approved during the Clinton administration. Figure that one out. Fun fact for everybody. But this is not the fucking 90s. And even if it was, it still wasn't any more acceptable. We impeached Clinton for lying about getting a blowjob in the Oval Office. Y'all remember that, right? If you're my age and older, you remember that, right? You know, we kind of got on his ass pretty hot and heavy, right? Y'all remember that shit going on? I mean, I was a kid. I still remember it. Then what, 15, 20 years later, we got the Me Too movement. Bill Cosby went to jail for putting drugs in drinks and raping women. Bill Cosby. Y'all remember him? He was on TV. He was everybody's dad. Whether you were black or white, if you watched the Cosby Show in the 80s and 90s, as I did, he was just like your dad. You know what it was like to be one of the Cosby kids if you watched the show. Years later, turns out Bill Cosby's a fucking rapist. He kept putting his dick where it didn't belong. Then Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, all these other big time actors. Everybody's getting accused of everybody. Everybody's getting accused of rape and sexual assault. And he grabbed me on the set. He pinched my ass. He tried to get me to have sex with him for this part and that part. And we were all hands across America for these Me Too people. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. Rape is wrong. No means no. Rape is wrong. You're not going to get an argument out of me on that. Do I think some of the sexual allegations may have been wrong? I mean, it's possible. But I'm also of the opinion that a lot of millionaires and famous people are sexual degenerates. So there is that. I'm not saying that I disbelieve them. All of them. Some of them may be false. But if every one of them was true, I wouldn't be surprised either. You know, now we have an entire fucking billionaire class and almost billionaire class of people, leaders and rulers of the world, politicians, famous people, rich people, that have gone to an island under U.S. jurisdiction in the Virgin Islands, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the same country that says with liberty and justice for all at the end of our pledge. And where's the justice? Where is it? I'm not seeing it. And y'all back in Pam Bondi? Guilt by association as far as I'm concerned. I take sexual assault very seriously. If somebody walks up to me and says, hey, so-and-so raped me, that's a serious accusation. If I'm back, let's put my former hat on as a correctional officer and say I had an inmate come up to me and complain that another inmate raped him, I'm required by law to take that seriously. Doesn't matter that the guy coming up to me is a rapist himself. I have to do my job. Well, guess what, Pam Bondi? You have to do yours too, and I am ordering you to do your job as well as everybody else because, God damn it, you work for us. We, as Americans, want you to investigate this shit. We're not asking, we're telling you. Congress has told you. They didn't ask you, they told you, and you serve at their pleasure, and they serve at our pleasure. I don't know why Mike Azell hadn't said anything. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Personally, as a person, I like Mike Azell. As a congressman, I don't. I hold no ill will toward the man. but I don't think he's right for us anymore. At one time, I did. Our own congressman, the only congressman from the state of Mississippi who's even doing anything about this shit is Benny Thompson. Now, that's a man I admire. Republicans are supposed to be all, law and order. You will not. You're going to follow the law. The law is for everybody. That's what Republicans were supposed to be, allegedly. And I think right now we're showing that they're not. Democrats are supposed to be the ones that are, let's let these poor, innocent little fucking convicts off. I'm not seeing that today. We witnessed a shift in the 60s. We witnessed a shift in the 80s. Are we seeing another shift? Are Republicans and Democrats flipping now? Because it seems like the Democrats want law and fucking order. And the Republicans are like, hi, these are friends of mine, so we gotta let these little rapists go. Fuck that. Fuck all of that. I'm pissed. And here's the other thing, y'all. Here's the other thing. What the fuck are they doing that we don't see? I mean, goddamn, they were out there in the fucking Virgin Islands raping kids. We didn't see it till later. What are we not seeing now that they're doing? This is why I don't trust the goddamn government. Republican, Democrat, I don't give a fuck. I don't trust you motherfuckers. None of you. I don't trust any of you. Because somewhere, somehow, y'all about to slide a dick in our asses some fucking where doing something behind the scenes, and you keeping us distracted. So, what we got going on? When Clinton got accused of fucking all these women in the White House back in the late 90s, Kosovo happened. When the Epstein files were getting ready to come out, Venezuela happened. Then he threatened Greenland. Basically, he threatened NATO. What's going on now? What are you doing behind our backs? Here's my answer. You either stand up for us or you fuck off. You either work for us or you don't. Y'all have shown that you don't give a shit about us. And I have a solution. I got a solution. You stop electing these cocksuckers. You either stand up, be transparent, or you don't get elected. I'm running for office. I'm running for sheriff of Harrison County. And guess what? I'm transparent. You know where I stand. All you got to do is find this channel. You see where I stand. On everything. But I can't tell where Mike Ezell stands. Actually, yes, I can. He stands where Trump stands. And I didn't do this show initially to talk about Mike Ezell, but since we're here, Mike Ezell, like many Republicans, most in fact, have drank enough of the Trump Kool-Aid to where they're going to back him up. And then, of course, that means that they're going to back up people like Pam Bondi, Christy Nome, Kash Patel. That means that they are going to stand up and say, yes, whatever Trump says is golden and all hail, Sieg Heil Trump, you know, because they like their fucking Nazi in chief. And that's exactly what he is. He's a fucking Nazi. I tend to remember, I'm pretty sure, I know my grandfather was killing Nazis in World War II. I'm pretty sure yours probably was too. They'd be really disappointed to know that we had one sitting in the fucking White House. And that's what we do. We have a Nazi in the White House. What is this? Third Reich U.S. edition? Because that's what it seems like to me. And it's disgusting. It literally sickens me. You look like a minority. You may have an accent. I'm going to throw you out of the country. Get my government agents to do it. Hey, you hiding any Jews under your basement? I see no difference. This asshole here is a 34 times convicted felon, and he's in the White House. He cannot vote. He cannot carry a firearm, but yet he commands people with guns. He commands the goddamn U.S. Army. What kind of fucking universe do we live in, y'all? I didn't like convicted felons when I had to fucking deal with them. Let alone put one in the White House. Should I go back to Everglades Correctional Institution down in Miami, Florida, and go get some of the inmates that I fucking had calling me sir and doing what I told them to do, and put them in the fucking White House next? You know what? It'd probably be they'd probably do a better job than Trump. Truth be told. This is disgusting, y'all. This is sickening, and it needs to stop. But this is what we have in this country. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. And if one person is above the law in this country, that is tyranny. And the shit needs to stop. And we can stop it. And let me tell you how we're going to stop it. It's going to take everybody in this country. Get your ass down to your registrar, register to vote, thoroughly research your candidate. Don't just be one of these, oh, well, I heard on the news this. No. Research. Do your homework. Find out who's running. Vote for your candidate at the primary. If you have a runoff, vote again. Be there. And then be there for the general election too. That's how this shit stops. This is 2026. Midterm elections. There's Senate races, and every House of Representatives position is up for grabs. Time to step up and do your job. You know who else is up for you know who else's position's up for grabs right now? Here in Mississippi? Cindy Hyde Smith. She needs to go too. Mike Gazelle is up. Every House of Representatives, they're up for re-election every 2 years. Every even numbered year, 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, that's even numbers. Start paying attention, y'all. Get educated. Learn something. Let's get these assholes and hold them accountable. I don't care if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, fuck all that. Fuck your party. Research the candidates. That's the only way this shit's going to stop. Let's get some good people in there this time. Y'all take care. Access 228, Anthony Oksenholt.